on Total War Rome 2. And as you can see, the legions of Rome have graced us with their appearance today on the battlefield. This is a 3 versus 3 on the settlement of Ancyra, the notoriously difficult defensive settlement. This one was sent in by the Galatia player here, and Galatia being commanded by the Hog. His allies, we've got Masacely being commanded by Spammed username. And finally, for the defenders, Pergamon being commanded by Wildebeest. For the attackers, we've got Parthia being commanded by Torres. We've got Rome being commanded by Achilles Achineth. We've got Boii being commanded by Avocado Drip. The names you guys come up with never ceases to amaze me. Once again, we are in the settlement of Ancyra. Once again, like I said, a notoriously difficult defensive settlement. It's very painful, especially anything bigger than 3v3 is just about impossible. But even 3v3s, you end up very crammed in to very tight places, so artillery for the attackers tends to be very, very dangerous. Interestingly, we do have kind of an attack I'm not used to seeing on the settlement. We don't very often see people come anywhere near this area. Usually, settlements that have this kind of setup on their walls usually want to avoid that, because anytime you attack one of the places, you risk getting shot by the other angle. So usually it's avoided on this settlement. Usually the main attack, usually, I said usually like 8 times. Typically you see an attack mostly upon this area here, because then you can turn that same tactic that I was just discussing, but now the attackers will be doing it to the defenders. Basically what tends to happen is you kind of work your way from the left to the right. So you land here or blow down a wall, whichever. You get engaged, and then what you do is you bring your archers along here, and you start shooting the backs of the defenders. That allows you to continue working your way down this side of the settlement as you continually bring archers over further and further to shoot the backs of the defense. Then that same thing applies to the middle, and then that's what tends to open up the right. This right-hand side of the settlement tends to be a pretty tough one to attack. It's got a lot of room for the defenders to operate and move their men around. This side, you just don't see it a whole lot. We're going to see a very similar thing where they're going to kind of get swarmed as soon as they come in here. They did blow down a breach. They are advancing into, they've got their elite Persian archers. If I remember correctly, this is the one that really isn't worth bringing. I think it's the Parthian foot archers that you would actually want to bring. Sorry, I had to take a drink there. The elite Persians, I believe the only thing that's beneficial to them is something, I think it's some of their melee stats, but their armor is only 15. I don't know if they even brought any, did they happen to bring any Parthian foot? No, it's unfortunately something that a lot of Parthian players tend to fall into. It's a trap where they see the most expensive archer and they just go for the most expensive archer, when actually the archer below the most expensive archer is probably the better one. So Pergamon really just kind of holding this area. We've got some Galatia here, which is not a terrible idea. Having some Galatian legionaries as backup is, well, not even as backup, as kind of the forefront is really handy. We got to be careful. They do have a gap here. Parthia not really taking advantage of that to get through this choke point. You know what I mean? They should probably try and go pin down this Galatian sword. We do have the camel spears going to try and sneak in, but they're going to pay for that mistake. There's no way the camels are going through now. That's a big boo-boo. The Parthian sword should have advanced and pinned that Galatian sword, because then you would have had a free gap for those camel spears to get in. There's gonna be a lot of jumping around here. I do apologize. Boei, we're going with the Axe Warriors. Boei, I hope you're watching. Sword followers all the way, man. Sword followers all the way. Axe Warriors is just not worth it. You have one of the best mid-tier units in the game in the Sword Follower. Bring the Sword Follower. It's a much better unit. Sword Follower, Oathsworn, you know, that's typically kind of your go-to here. Rome here went pretty much full Legionaries. They took some losses earlier due to the artillery. So they busted down a wall. They're kind of shifting their towers over. I guess maybe to land here. At first I almost thought they were going to go all the way over here, but I think it's unrealistic. Parthian swords. They must have gone, yeah, so they went through the gate. So they broke down the gate, and because it's neutralized, they can just walk in. If this was not neutralized, they would have gotten burned by the oil. Elite Persians just getting whooped by just regular archers. I mean, obviously it was just one, but they had another one take a lot of damage from some infantry that got into them. The artillery over there, no kills on it. What about the Roman one? 7, but they're not really targeting units yet. Sacely over on this side here, right side for the defense. You got Desert Legionaries taking on the Axe Warriors. Axe Warriors 141 kills, not bad at all. But I think those are pretty cheap units given that they don't have a chevron yet. They are doing exactly what we discussed earlier. Archers shifting down and shooting the backs. They got to be careful though, because there is a gate right here. So typically you want to have some infantry or some cavalry or something relatively close by so that the archers can run away. Because right now, if a cav were to come out here, they would be SOL. If you don't know what SOL means, look it up. Explosive shot, not worth it. Use either your fire shot or your standard shot. Fire shot typically is better at kills, but it decreases your accuracy. Dry fire. Dry fire on the jabbies there for the Legionaries. Galatian swords, 25 kills. The Legionaries should chop right through this. Yeah, that explosive shot, I mean, it's just not worth it. All it does is throw a bunch of guys around. It really doesn't get that many kills. I think it actually hurts your, if I remember correctly, I think it actually lowers your kill ability. I've got a Desert Legionary coming over to assist. Now this is a Legionary that I think might be this one right here. That part of the unit went charging through while the rest was still getting off the tower. Looks like we've got some formation attack going on. Another thing I would just suggest getting rid of. Parthia on the right, still being kind of held in check here. The downside for Pergamon is that they really need some more beef here. They need more meat. You know, the Galatian swords are not a very tanky unit. They're not really made to kind of hold like this. Galatian Legionaries are doing, they've got 85 kills, excuse me. And how, that's perfectly healthy, Galatian Legionary, good lord. Uh-oh. And here they're going to loop right around the back end of this Parthian army. Look at this, they're all right here. Or the regular Roman legionaries being stopped by some Galatian legionaries. Two very good units. on the Syrians. This one's still pretty healthy, pretty fresh. They continue working their way along. Exactly, got your Spear Warriors over here. You even have your Oswald General kind of nearby. But the Archers just continuing to get that shot. And it's one of those situations the defenders really can't do a whole lot about it other than what they're doing right now, which is getting some cavalry out here. Zasely bringing his Armored Numidian Rider General out. A very good unit. He's got to be careful about those jabbies, and also that is a Spear Warrior, so they have counter cavalry tactics. What you want to do is you just want to avoid him. That one Spear Warrior can only do so much. So loop around him and get in these archers. And basically, you know, this guy's down to 65 health. He's taking some losses. What's the danger here? Jabby 1. We get Jabby 2. Nope. 53 out of 80. Oh, he's taking lots of losses. He's getting a lot of archers, though. 178 with a chevron. You might even be able to call it worth it just to go back in. He's continuing to get jabbied here. 33, he's got 179 kills. Unfortunately not able to finish off the archers. They still have 1, 2, 3. 2 of them being very, very badly hurt. At this point, I think you just kind of settle for this and this. This becomes a lot harder. The archers getting over here to continue that tactic becomes a bit harder to do. Some Parthian swords over here. Naked swords. Those 2 units can only do so much against, well, that 1 unit, excuse me, the naked swords can only do so much against these Parthian swords and these legionaries from Rome. Naked sword is a unit that's made to be moving. It's made to cycle. It's not made to stand there and try and hold a gap. Rome is just eating right through them. Parthia had a much rougher time. Well, the balance power is in favor of the defenders. Camel Spears have some room to move. Gotten into some Galatian swords. Now I suspect we'll see them turn around and start charging the back of these Galatian swords. I don't know why they're trying to cram their 2 units of cavalry through this gate, bring this cav into the settlement through the open door that you have, not this crammed in spot, you know what I mean? Really not understanding what they're trying to do there. It almost makes me think that the Parthian player dropped or quit. If anybody's in or if anybody's watching that was in the game, let me know if that Parthian player dropped or quit. Because they're playing pretty oddly. Stuff like that where, you know, cramming units through a gate like that is very AI. You know, the AI tends to play kind of stupid. Game of Spears now charging sword followers. The Game of Spears with 65 kills. And it's probably all jabbies too. Taking a look here. Now, this is once again sent in by Hog. If you guys don't know how to send matches to me and replays to me, and you want, you know, possibility of me covering one of the matches, at the end of this video, there's going to be a video about accessing your replays and how to send them on like Discord and stuff. Typically, Discord is where it's easiest for me to find them and get them. So once again, if you guys want me to cover games, you know, the list right now is not super long, so this would be the time to do it. You know, watch that video and send some replays into the replay box on Discord. Archers here from Herdmon, 144, 192, very, very good. 125 on the Syrians. They're struggling against Rome. Galatians doing their best, but Rome is just mobbing this. Look at this. Look at all the stuff that's in there. Both these Galatian Legionaries are pretty beat up. You basically just have one Galatian Legionary full health between those two. These two are doing okay. 35 kills, 134 kills. But with Rome mobbed up like this, I wouldn't be surprised if we see these Galatian Legionaries start racking up some kills here. Rome's units are basically going to tire themselves out without actually getting a whole lot of value out of them. Because you got to think, the only thing that's really fighting is right up here. But you have all these units that are, quote unquote engaged, that are all just tiring themselves out. Same thing over here. They're about to run into a problem there. Pergamon sending some Galatian swords over. This Parthian thing is just kind of frustrating. Looks like they finally dealt with the camel spears. We have Pergamene's noble cav here, the general. Over on the right, they're actually pushing back against this attack here. Pergamon and Mesacely retaking the right-hand side. And that could be rough because that opens up some opportunity here on the back end against Rome. You got Velites. Why Velites? You brought all Velites. Mercenary Syrian archers, bring them.
All right.
Probably have a lot more luck against some of these range units from the defenders. Game of Spears, 101 kills, 70 kills. Desert Legionary 109. This one's basically untouched, but he has 39 kills. Some Vigiles with 2 chevrons. And some more Legionaries back here. The Ballista, 33 kills. Parthi over here, just still stonewalled. I mean, like, these units right here, Parthi is not getting through this anytime soon. God, the work that this Royal Cataphract could do right now in the back end, that's why I'm basically convinced that Parthian player dropped. I don't see how they'd be playing the way they are if they were a real player. Heavy Numidian skirmishers could probably come over here, help out with this with their javelins, and then could probably help shore that up with just getting into melee. Though we do have Desert Legionaries coming over to help. Balance power is pretty even, but it is slightly slightly in favor of the defenders. This is continuing to be an issue, though. The Game of Spears are pretty healthy, but everything else here looks like they're about to break. Legionaries desperately trying to get through. 97, 160, 87, 37.
What are we, brothers?
The Galatian Legionaries, 163. There you go. There's the Heavy Numidian skirmishers. One volley toss, it looked like, with 14 kills. I think the Game of Spear is shifting out. I was assuming to get the Desert Legionary in there, but he hasn't gone in. Rome does shift some units over, as well as Boii. Got a pretty beat up sword follower, some Vigiles, and some Legionnaires. Mesacely pulling away from this. I'm a little surprised by that. I think, honestly, with these couple of units from Mesacely and Pergamon, they could probably do some decent work over here against these 3 units. Because those 3 units are pretty beat up. This is just not going anywhere, so I'm just gonna concentrate over here for the most part. 117 kills on Celtic Scorpion. They've been getting some work in. It doesn't hurt that everything's just smashed on top of each other, though. It's a good way to get a bunch of kills with the Scorpion. know, they could be shifting stuff along the wall, but they're not. Glacial Legionaries backing away. They're pretty hurt. Pretty beat up. Game of Spears 164, 144. We should probably try to shift one of these over to the left here. There it is. They're completely open in the center there.
Warriors, stop!
And 2 desert cohorts miles away from where they needed to be. Oh, Rome. Go, man. Like, get in there. Yeah. Get in there.
Go!
Sorry, I'm just kind of looking around here. Keep you guys moving. Cap point on Ankara is all the way back here, which seems to be where he's keeping his 2 best units in the desert cohorts. Any longtime watchers know I am not a fan of holding units all the way back from the back. I think it wastes potential of maneuvering, wastes time, efficiency, kind of all of the above. You know, especially like this is hurting really bad. You know, they've got the 2 decently healthy Game Spears, but that's it. You know, and they're clogged right here. So that means they don't have a lot there, and they don't have a whole lot there. When they could have desert cohorts in those places. Oops, sorry about that. They could also use desert cohort here. They could use a desert cohort here. You know what I mean? There's potential for those desert cohorts in many different places. Oh, look at that. Pergamon coming in with the Noble Cap. He's got 40 kills, getting in on those Legionaries. I think he also got in on the Roman General? Did he kill the Roman General? I think he did. Yeah, he did. He dead, man. He dead. Then he slips around, getting in on those Velites. And behind that, it's going to be another Legionary. Legionnaire probably stop or try and throw jabbies if you got him. Or if you can catch him standing still, even better. Run away! Or don't. This guy, what was it, 96? 86. That's Legionary versus Legionary. Victory for Gaul and Precisely. About, I mean, look at that. The whole, they all just shatter. You can see that little diamond yellow, now it's red. Green is good. See, green, let's see the red, it's really bad. Yellow's not great. See yellow. Not good. So, like, if they had fire shot or like a spear unit around, these guys would probably break.
Engage!
I believe they just mass broke right there. All right, let's go look at some kills here. Starting off with spammed username as Masacely, 1,573 kills. Infantry all did pretty solid. Wilsbeast as Pergamon, I think leading the whole game here, 2401. Archers did very well, Game of Spears did very well, and even the Galatian Swords, you know, did pretty good. The Hog as Galatia with 2153. It's Galatia. They're going to do what they do. The Archers did well. Infantry, for the most part, did pretty good. Parthia, 1293. I'm convinced that he dropped or quit or something. I'm convinced. Somebody in the game, let me know. Avocado Drip as Bowie. I just don't like the army. I think if you switch, get rid of all this right here. All this guys right here. Get rid of them. Swap them in for more of these guys right here. Naked Warrior, it's fine. I think there's better places you can spend your money. Achilles as Rome with 1841. Velites. Why? Why Velites? bring your Syrians. You know, you might have to bring a slightly less infantry, but what it means is you would basically bring, you know, like 7 or 8 legionaries, and then Hastati as like your frontline, or your initial assault type guys. You know what I mean? I think you'd get a lot better value out of some Syrians, and then, you know, maybe some Hastati instead of all legionaries. But that is going to be it for today's battle. Thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget that if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time.